Hello, welcome back. Hope everybody's got a lot of energy and you're keeping up with the business news. There's an awful lot going on. Today's topic is structuring organizations. Now, you've all gone to work someplace or seen businesses and seen managers, and you know who reports to whom. There's maybe a store manager or a regional manager or something. But did you ever give any thought to why it's organized that way and the different ways that people can organize their businesses in terms of reporting relationships and the jobs that people have? Well, that's the topic for today. We'll start by looking at levels of management. We talk about different levels in a business. And let's start at the top. At the top, we have what we call executive management. Executive management are people that have titles like CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, President, Vice President. They're the executive level. Here in this chart, it says top managers. We will call them executive managers. Their planning decisions that they make are typically looking out 2 or more years. They want to look at the long-term direction of the business. Where are we going? Are we getting more into streaming, home delivery, cashless, cashierless stores, that kind of thing? Intelligent clothing. Middle managers. Middle managers have titles like director, regional manager, things like that. They manage managers. They're responsible typically for allocating resources. And by that, we mean big time money. Who gets what budget? Who gets how many people? Do I allocate a lot of staff for sales to New Jersey or New York? Do I move it around? Do I build a new facility someplace and close another facility? So they're actively managing the resources in order to meet the strategic plans that the executive managers come up with. Then we have first line or first level managers. These people have titles typically like manager or supervisor. They do operational planning. What's going on day to day? Who's working? How many parts have we made? What's the quality like on the products? Did we meet our sales goals? Those are typically the functions of a first level manager. Well, let's take a look at an organizational structure in terms of the different organizations that we're going to have in a business. There's 2 basic types. One's a line organization and the other's staff. A line organization you can think of as an organization that contributes to the service or product that the company produces. So it could be production, it can be sales, it can be marketing, those sorts of things. Well, who doesn't work in that kind of organization? Well, those are support organizations, organizations that are not directly involved in the product or service. We call those staff organizations. Finance, human resources, accounting, facilities, those kinds of people are staff. So when we think of a business, whether it's Amazon or a restaurant, they're people that are part of a line organization or a staff organization. Well, let's take a look starting at the bottom of an organization, and we'll look at what we call the individual contributors. These are the non-management. Individual contributors don't manage, and they're called this because what they contribute, their value added to the business, is what they do themselves. For example, if I'm working at a car manufacturer and I put in headlights all day, that's my contribution to the business. If I'm at Harley Davidson and I put on the gas tank every day, that's my contribution to the business. Now, when you do one particular job, we call it job specialization. It's good if somebody specializes in a particular job. If you are only putting on brakes every day, you get to be pretty good at it. You get to be very efficient at it. Unfortunately, it can also get boring. 40 years of putting on brakes is hardly an exciting career. So other things you might do as a manager to create jobs for people is to alternate their assignments. We call that job rotation. In job rotation, you move people around. Another aspect or a con of job specialization is if you have somebody who's only good at one thing and something happens to them, you might be out of luck. We call those people truck people or bus people. If they get hit by a truck or a bus, the business is done. It stops. Had this at one of my jobs. Had a person who was the only person in the company who knew how to create our CDs for customers. And IBM had a delivery coming up, and this person actually happened to be in California, went out surfing in the morning and broke his leg and went to the hospital. We couldn't make our deliveries. Nobody else in the business knew how to do it. Now, if you rotate people through jobs, you will have people who can be a backup. The downside, of course, is that people don't become as good at the job. They don't get as much experience, and it takes time to train people to do new jobs. There's actually a cost to doing that. You might give people more responsibility or authority. We call that job enrichment. Particularly if you give more authority to somebody, it's job enrichment. You make their job more meaningful. I let you make decisions about the kinds of products we order. If you're scooping ice cream at Gabriel's Fountain, you get to pick which flavor we're doing, things like that. I might increase your responsibility, but that's not always job enrichment. That might just be job enlargement. Job enlargement is just giving you more tasks to do versus job enrichment, which is giving you a more meaningful job. An example is if I gave you the assignment, in addition to working the cash register, I want you to clean the restrooms. Well, that's giving you more responsibility, so it's job enlargement, but it's certainly not making your job more meaningful or richer.